Hey guys, we are getting close to finishing up this pronoun packet. I'm sure you will be happy to see the end of pronouns because you had no idea there was so many different kinds of pronouns. So we are going to be doing pages 58 and 59 in this video, which is going to be talking about the possessive pronouns. So the possessive pronouns are personal pronouns used to show ownership or relationship. Singular, I'm going to have my, mine, you, yours, her, his, its. Plural, ours, yours, and theirs. So remember, once again, when we get into the ones that denote gender, you need to remember that gender is being dealt with differently with the LGBTQ. Okay, where we're going to be taking away the concept of singular and plural in order to make it gender non-specific. So possessive pronouns, my, your, her, his, our, and their come before nouns. The possessive pronouns, mine, ours, yours, his, hers, and theirs can stand alone in a sentence. My tennis serve is powerful but not very accurate. My teammates' legs are stiff and sore from running, but mine feel fine. Okay, notice that this one here, okay, essentially is standing alone. It makes sense. We don't have to say mine teammates, mine legs. Okay, we do not have to say legs here where you might anticipate it if it said, but my legs feel fine. Instead, we're going to say mine. Now, why would you say mine instead of my legs? It's just a way to shorten things up and to change things so that they are not redundant or repetitive. Some possessive pronouns sound like contractions. It's to its, your to your, their to their. Don't confuse these pairs. Remember that possessive pronouns never use an apostrophe. I'm going to take a highlighter here because I really want to make sure you understand that. Possessive pronouns never use an apostrophe. Contractions always use an apostrophe. And I'm going to do this with two different colored highlighters just to make it very clear for me. Okay. Contraction. We have a apostrophe, okay? If there is an apostrophe, you're going to have a contraction. Okay, remember with your possessive pronoun, it's not going to have an apostrophe. It's a no-go for a possessive pronoun. So you're never going to hit his fastball. One way to double check about whether or not it is a contraction is to turn your contraction into the two different components of the words. So you're going to say, you are never going to hit his fastball. Possessive, your fastball is hard to hit, but his is impossible. You can always double check to make sure it's being used correctly here because it's not. You are fastball. Continuing into section A. Underline all the possessive pronouns in the following sentences. The athletes at our school should be proud of their performances this year. We have our and we have their. Okay, instead of saying the athletes at and then giving a name of the school should be proud of the athlete's performance, remember that our pronouns are being used to take the place of another pronoun or a noun, so we are not repeating ourselves. Her backstroke is improving and she really excels in the butterfly. Her is going to be our possessive pronoun. Now here we have the she, and I'm going to circle it here because we do know that this is a pronoun. However, this is not a possessive pronoun. In order for it to be a possessive pronoun, it would have had to be her or hers, and it is not referring to something there. Continuing down into B, underline the correct pronoun to complete each sentence. Their dedication to the game could be seen in how well they played. Okay, one thing to remember is when we're always looking at this, we remember our contractions have apostrophes, our possessive pronouns do not. So automatically we have already decided this is going to be a possessive pronoun. So it has to be this one because this one does not make sense. They are dedication to the game could be seen in how well they played. Does not make sense. So we would not use that one. Number 2, even the judges were amazed at hers performance in the gymnastics competition. Okay, we can see that it would be her because this is what makes sense at her performance in the gymnastics competition. Flipping the page to go on to page 59, please. In this one, it's asking in each sentence, underline the pronoun that completes each sentence correctly. So we're going to be continuing to do that. We want to remember our rules about how with an apostrophe, it's always going to be a contraction. It's not a possessive noun. Possessive pronoun. So someone should have tried to block her, its shot. It was the game winner. We're going to be using her here. Lewis found the chess meet to be tougher than blank football game. We're going to be using his. We're going to assume here gender versus if we're looking at the its, we're looking at an object instead. And it has, for some reason, become very negative to refer to something as an it rather than gender. That is why instead of just going completely 100% gender neutral by using it's for individuals in the gender neutral setting, it's not what we're going to do because of the fact that we only use the it's when we're talking about inanimate objects or non-human objects. Continuing to the bottom, we are continuing with choosing possessive pronouns. Fill in the blanks in the following sentences with appropriate possessive pronouns. Vary the pronouns you use. Vary meaning use as many different ones as you can. Okay, so don't use the same one for each one. Don't use the same one multiple times if you can. The theater gave free passes to staff. Okay, if we're looking at theater, we're not going to have something that is going to be denoted to gender. So the theater gave free passes to, now you could either have their or its. Because theater here is what it's referring to, we can have its or their. Blank idea for the experiment might work. You could have my, you could have her, you could have his, you could have their. Continue with that one. The next video will be continuing and talking about indefinite pronoun agreement.